言うことは一つだけ。絶対負けねえ。
How's it going, everybody? It's Nothing XS here, talking about the new banner that was literally just released a little bit ago. It is the South America's Individual Strength banner, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the actual characters in the banner real quick. First off, we have Ramon Victorino, who comes with a hidden ability evolution. He has a team skill that gives him South American and non-Japanese football buffs. South Americans get 10% and non-Japanese get 7. He comes with a volley, an overhead, and a 1-2 with Hino. Also, he has nationality linked South America. As for his hidden skills, we'll talk about those a little bit later. Then we also have Alberto, who has Warriors Extreme Awakening, Defenders, and Toughness. That means Defenders all stats 15 and Toughness type players all stats 10. His main special skill is a block. He's a blocker primarily. He also comes with an intercept and a pass, and he has auto block enhanced as his passive 30%. And then a green goalkeeper, Brazil's goal custodian Salinas. The art here of which is not the same art as the actual goalkeeper, as you will see soon. Warriors Extreme Awakening goalkeeper, and skill means goalkeeper all stats 15 or skill type players all stats plus 10. His main special skill is perfect fine save, 455 max save with 210 cost. This is more or less about as good as Blue Ken's, and also comes with one-handed catch and safety zone, so he's 20% stronger against shots from outside the penalty area. The probabilities of the banner are more or less about what you would expect. It's 0.33% for each of them, and the rest of the banner is pretty interesting, considering more or less who is basically everyone's in it. They kind of didn't remove any characters like they've been doing recently, which is kind of odd. Anyways, so let's actually talk about the characters real quick. We're going to go ahead and discuss the characters themselves. Now, 1 second. One of the things that's interesting about these characters is basically they're more interesting than I thought they would be, although not as powerful perhaps as the China banner. So first let's start with Ramon Victorino. Black Panther sprints across the pitch. I find him pretty confusing. He's a pretty good shooter. He gets pretty high up there in shooter, and he has a interesting team skill that's a plus 10 to South America, as we just talked about. And it's decent enough for anyone that you're playing him that's not Japanese, since there's also another plus 7% to non-Japan. But the thing is that you want to kind of play him in a full South American team, because he gets all the way up to 20% stats when played with a full South American team. But there's just not enough SSR South Americans yet. Mostly because I think they're missing either a defender or a defensive midfielder, depending on how you play it. For example, you could do at defender, you could do Alberto, Galvin, and you could also do Casagrande. But then that leaves you without a defensive midfielder, because there's no other defensive midfielder you could run there in green. Anyway, his main skill is a volley, which is kind of weird because he's not really good at low balls and he doesn't get any kind of buff. He's just generally a weird but decent character, and he has kind of uninspired but useful hidden abilities. They didn't really do anything interesting for his hidden abilities. It's kind of a letdown. There was a lot of potential there for him to be an interesting and fun character to use, but instead he just feels kind of like an afterthought in terms of design. For his pros, I mean, let's be honest, he's a decent enough striker that's pretty fast and a mostly ignored archetype, and he has the potential to be pretty good. He has access to one of the best hidden abilities in the game, which is special skill block, although he does have it at a low rate. Also, he ignores enemy debuffs, and again, he's pretty fast. Now, for cons, he doesn't really have an S shot. That means you have to find the old green gacha version to give him a shot, and you're going to need to use Hino to be able to have that shot, unless you pretend to only use him in the box with high and low balls. And right now he can't use his full 20% passive, so it is what it is. He can only use a fraction of it. I do believe he can only use up to 18% of it. Anyways, let's talk about his hidden skills. First off, he has stat handicap resistance. That means that he gets 100% to ignore. He ignores 100% of debuffs to him. There's not really that many debuffs yet, but this could potentially be really strong later on. And the reason for that is because characters like Xiao, who might debuff specific characters in certain situations, he completely ignores all of that. Anyways, he has another ability called Opponent Stats minus 1%. It's exactly what it says on the 10. It's a flat 1% debuff to all opponents across the board. It's always active. It doesn't require anything in specific. It doesn't require a matchup. It's just always on. Listen, it's not very inspired, but it might just be the little nudge you need if you need to win a certain matchup. Now, my team all stats plus 2% is pretty nice. I think it's a little bit better than the stats minus 1. It's just a free 2% buff to all your South American players on your team. Might be boring, but it's pretty nice. And finally, special skill block A. It is 20% chance to disable one of your opponent's possible skills. Again, as usual, it means that some opponents simply won't have a choice on how they can deal with Victorino, and some situations are going to leave opponents with no really good choice to make. Again, as usual, since it's a low activation rate, it's not particularly reliable or useful, but it's going to spring up just often enough that opponents are going to rage, and occasionally it's going to make you win a tight game because you're going to block the goalkeeper's opposing save. I don't like how gambly it is. I hate it. I think it's a horrible design. Again, I don't think Collab really understands what they're doing with special skill block, and I'm really frustrated that they continue to try to force it down our throats, and I really wish they would stop. As for his stats, as you can see, he's pretty good in the offensive side of things. The 6,000 dribble, 6,000 pass, and 8,000 shot mean that he winds up with a 9.6k dribble, 1.1k shot, and an 8.8k pass. I'm a little tired, I apologize. I'm pretty yawny right now. Now, but on the defensive side, he's just really non-existent. He gets at best to like 7.2k, and that's on block, and you're not going to be blocking with a forward. Everything else is just not great, honestly. As for his skill build, I would keep the S Panther volley, I would keep the Panther overhead, and I would keep the Uruguayan golden duo simply because there's just not that many things to give him. I might teach him the ultimate forward duo if I had an extra version of the green Victorino so that I could give him any kind of shot, and then teach him a Panther dribble. And so the thing is that Panther dribble is already available from SR units that you probably already have collected at some point, or maybe fed it to another version of SSR Victorino. So you could pull it off with a removal card, or you could just give it to him straight up if you haven't actually taught it to any version of Victorino. The thing is that he kind of needs Hino to be good, and the only good Hino right now is in blue. There is a red one, but it's not very great. But Dreamfest Hino is a blue unit, and I guess it pairs well with him if you're playing a South American rainbow team, but it's a little bit difficult to put that together. I would say he's a solid A unit. Maybe right now he's a B, but I think that there is actually enough potential that he could see use in the future, and not so far future actually. Again, his role is as a basic striker, and I wouldn't really go for broke for him unless you're like a really big fan of this unit like G is over at the Discord. It just really depends on whether you really want him or not. Next up we have Alberto, perfect attack, defense, balance. He is a red blocker. We recently finished talking about 2018 National Team Ishizaki. You guys may have seen that video, and I mentioned that Ishizaki is mostly a stats bully in a single category. Alberto is basically that unit, but with a different passive. Instead of getting stronger as the game goes on, he just has auto block, and auto block sucks. It's just not very strong. It's not very useful. It's not really gonna stop much. Also, since his only other A block is A sliding block, he really can't bully characters with stats and cheap moves. And since auto block isn't really a great passive, his team skill is gonna wind up being overshadowed also because red right now wants to do like monocolor, throw a lot of things at the forwards, you know, with a forward AM or other kinds of passives in that vein. And so I don't think his team skill is really all that useful. It'll be useful for some people, but in general, he himself as a unit is overshadowed by other probably better blockers, which means that at the end of the day, like, listen, he's got a high block stat and he has a decent selection of skills, but frankly most of the skills he has are either the heavily costed shutout versions, or they're really generic A versions, like sliding block, strong tackle, and forcible interception. He's not really good at anything else but blocking, even though he's like an 8,000 interceptor or something. I would honestly not think too hard about him. If you get him, that's great. He might be decent for you in red, especially if you need a better team skill than just a flat 10%. But other than that, he's just kind of whatever. Now, his stamina also not too great. As you can see, he's mostly loaded on block. He has decent enough tackle to put him at 8.2 tackle. He has about enough 8,000 intercept. Dribbling, shooting, and passing, obviously middling. He's 7.3, 7.4, 7.5. Really not that good there. But his block is a solid 10.6. That does put him in like the top 5 or 6 blockers in the game in terms of just raw stats. But auto block again is not a great passive. It doesn't really help him in any palpable way, and you're really not gonna block that many things with it. So it is what it is, you know. You know what you're getting. For a skill build, I would probably keep the S block and the A intercept and the A pass, and I will teach him A strong tackle and then like A sliding block. It will still be a less expensive block, and at least in the beginning, before you actually level up his S block, it will be very useful for you. He's just basically red Casagrande, but worse. I think every problem that Casagrande has, he has. But I think Casagrande, who is in blue, where defenders are more valued, because there is a lot more really big, crazy defenders in blue, I think his passive is more valuable to blue than this one is to red. I would rate him an A. I wouldn't go broke for him. And now finally we have Salinas, Brazil's goal custodian. Now, see, the thing is that green has been kind of holding out for a goalkeeper for a very long time, and we kind of thought that maybe we'd be the first Dreamfest goalkeeper. And the dream there is still alive. You never know. Maybe green comes with, you know, with like a Genzo that might be worth using. And really, they've been waiting for so long. And this, I mean, this is an okay concession, right? Since most green teams kind of rely on having Alberto on the bench for the easy 15 South America, 10 to the rest of the green, because that's how you power up Hino and Santana, he's going to have access to 15% stat buff. Also, since his team skill specifically helps him and any other goalkeepers, your backup goalkeeper, if you make this one your main goalkeeper, your backup goalkeeper will also be stronger. So it's a very good consideration to have. Like maybe you'll play this Salinas and sub in Genzo, or maybe Genzo will start and this Salinas will relieve him, maybe until this Salinas gets strong enough, because this Salinas is the best shot stopper in green right now, because he has the highest potential in terms of stats. Without safety zone, he's slightly better than Greenzo, but with safety zone, he's more in the realm of being right under, like, say, Mueller in terms of saving. He's a little bit under there, but a little bit better than, I guess, the next goalkeeper after him, which I forgot already who it was. I think it was Red Zeno. He's better than Red Zeno in that regard. I think even with Red Zeno's max buff, he's better than Red Zeno entirely. Also, we have to talk about how well safety zone pairs with a punching keeper, because punching keepers want to conserve stamina, and safety zone will help you do that by making your punches much stronger. Now, at the end of the day, the fact that he doesn't have a whole lot of support in terms of skills hurts, but frankly, just the fact that green finally has a shot stopper that's better than 2017 Genzo or 2018 Ken is just that good. Now, since he's the best shot stopper in green when it comes to max potential save, along with safety zone being really, really good for green, which is that they're easy to get drained. I would say he's actually a pretty strong goalkeeper, and you can hybrid limit break him if you want to use some of his catching, like maybe a one-handed catch as a long distance cheap save. It's an option you have because he is kind of balanced in terms of stats. Now the problem is that he lacks any good punches from SR or any really good farmable units like whatsoever. So if you have to punch more than 4 times and a half, he's dead, unlike maybe like Blue Ken, who could do 5 of them because of tenacity, sometimes 6. Now to limit break him, if I was going to limit break him for pure shot stopping power, I would do 25 punch, 25 speed, 25 power, but you could do the 25, 25, 3, 19, 3 if you wanted to limit break him hybrid, but I don't know that I would recommend that. I think I would use safety zone to buoy my catch if I really wanted to create a turnover against a long distance bad shot. But for the most part, I would just try to S punch whatever was thrown my way. That said, though, he does have access to both an S punch and an S catch, and he does have the stats to kind of try to do both, so it's up to you what you want to do. Now, stamina again, 978, not the best, but not too bad. He has 8400 punch, 7100 catch, and his speed and technique are kind of middling, which means that he won't cut a lot of balls that are dropped in front of him in the penalty box because of the low speed. But 11,000 punch, well, 11.6 thousand punch and 10.2 thousand catch. Again, maybe viable hybrid build. I would rather just focus on the punch. He's the best puncher in the game. It might be better off being built that way. As for a skill build, S perfect fine save is just fine. It's a decent punch. A one-handed catch, you should use that for whenever someone makes a boneheaded shot that maybe is a little too weak but strong enough that you have to throw an A skill at it, and you can go for that. C power catch from the old crappy R version might be good to give him also, so consider doing that. A double-handed punch, it can be pulled off of the red Salinas, the one from Dream Collection, but it would be nice if they make a version of that punch available from an SR Salinas at some point. And yeah, you could give him a spare S catch if you really wanted, but unless you're going to hybrid build him to take advantage of it, or you are using, like, for example, an old Dream Collection Salinas that you no longer want, that you're pulling off like a really strong save from, I wouldn't worry about that too much, you know? Anyway, just take the punch advantage mostly against long distance shots, especially bad ones where the enemy forwards aren't placed well, and that should be good enough for you. I think this goalkeeper, maybe with Green Bunak parked right in front of him, might just be solid enough to survive, so, you know, it's up to you. Anyways, Raval, the Hawk leading his team. This is the event unit for the current event. His job is basically tackle the ball away with his A tackle because he has a submarine, super speed submarine defense, and then swing it to whoever you want with a pinpoint pass EX. The pass itself is not very good. It costs 320 stamina, which sucks, but it is 20% stronger, so even though it would normally be 300 momentum, for him it's 360. That's a little underwhelming considering all the other EX skills that other characters have been getting. But I think they didn't want to make Raval too crazy by giving him an insanely good pass. But making a pinpoint pass EX only 300 and 320 feels pretty bad. So he's not the main reason you want to farm this event for. However, since he does have a Skyhawk shot on him, you kind of do want to get him in case you have any other Rivals, because a Skyhawk shot is worth. Anyways, pros, he's a decent enough passer on red. That makes him the 4th good passer that red gets. It is what it is. His existence enables pinpoint pass C for Raval, which is actually kind of decent because it's a 175 power pass, which is, I mean, it's 15 better than precise pass, and it's only like a little bit more expensive, so that's kind of nice. I guess the problems with him are that he's mostly just really mediocre. He's trying to compete for space in red that now has Wang, Misaki, and Pierre, as well as other aggressive midfielders, and frankly his stamina sucks. I would limit break him on tackle, speed, pass, and technique. And yeah, I would really farm him even though he's B, because you do want a Skyhawk shot for somebody else. Stamina sucks, 847. He's loaded on pass, loaded on tackle, decent speed, decent technique. That makes him a 10.4k passer and a 9.8k tackler. His pass is buoyed by a passer that gives him 20% to his passing. Well, his passing special skills, and so he is what it is. It's exactly what he says on the 10. He's going to tackle the ball away and then pass the ball forward. For his skill build, I would give him, you know, obviously level up a pinpoint pass because that's what he does. Keep the A super speed submarine defense. This should be B golden, new golden duo. I'm sorry, I'll edit that later, but B new golden duo, and then also teach him C pinpoint pass because it'll still be stronger on him. And obviously when I put the asterisk on farm, really it's because you want to get this unit to get a Skyhawk shot. Remind yourself to get a Skyhawk shot. Very important. That's really why you want him. A Skyhawk shot is the real prize. A pinpoint pass is nice and all, and so is C point pass, but a Skyhawk shot is the real reason you want to farm. You want him for either your green 2018 Raval that you got, or for somebody else. And also farming this banner is good because of the 3232S stamina formation that will be very good for people who want to run 3232S but don't have, maybe they're running non-Japanese players because Japanese players will normally get physical. Anyway, So we're gonna go back to over here because this is a banner I am very interested in because I want the green goalkeeper, and so we're gonna go for it. We're just gonna go for it raw. I don't really care. I might kick quite a bit at this. I'm gonna go for it still. First, just a step up. I'm looking primarily for Salinas. 5 birds, not bad. Oh, already? Oh, Salinas, please. If I get Salinas, I might stop kicking. Like, honestly, I don't need anything else. I'll hold on to the rest of my dream balls. That would be nice. Well, I got Victorino. I suppose that's pretty good. I don't have any real need for him right now, so we'll keep going. But that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not gonna... Oh, that's right, by the way. There are SR units like this Diaz with drive pass, which is excellent. The reason why it's excellent is because you're gonna want these for the event. They give you rate ups, but primarily because let's say you can get a drive pass on like a Tsubasa, you're gonna want that. Anyways, here we're gonna keep going. This doesn't look too good. Yeah, this isn't good. Alright, I'll let it flip out. Oh, this is a new Brazil football. Very nice to have, especially if you didn't get Dream Duo EX. So I have 2 of the rate up units. Well, 3 of them actually. And I gotta keep going. And here comes SR guaranteed. And I would really please love to have Salinas. Come on, let's go. This game has been very rude to me recently. It would be very nice if it was nicer for once. Come on, give me 2 SSR. They give me a good chance. One other. Roberto. Please, Salinas. Please, Salinas. Just come on, man. Salinas. I already have him. Oh, we got this Santana, who is the other rate up unit, and I believe that he has. I think it was high speed dribble. No, Santana turn. Very nice. Good enough, especially if you had the Dream Fest Santana or something and you wanted that. So I guess we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna go 2 more times, and then that's it. If I don't find them, I don't find them. 1 bird. Oh, that's pretty lame. Not good enough. Not complete. Roberto never flips in situations like this. Oh, it's looking pretty tough, guys. I got another drive pass. I guess that's okay. And another new Brazil football. And here we go. One more time. I'm pretty much, I've kind of given up at this point. But, one more time. 3. Rough beats. Oh. Nah. Oof. Don't do this to me. Alright, we'll sit through it. Anyways, guys, I don't expect much of anything. So, thank you guys for checking out the content. If you enjoy what you see, please go ahead, click like, click subscribe, click on the little bell so that you get notifications whenever I update. And I hope to see you all soon. Take care of yourselves.